What is up, boys? It's your boys, the Sleepy Tambourine and Mr. Sleep Slot, coming back at you. We're gonna wrap around town tonight, dig up, dig down. Be honest,
Do it. Do what it
I have a
is.
general rule that I don't take Unisom if it's after 9 o'clock, and I took it at like 10:47 last night, and I'm feeling kind of zombie-ish.
What's in your head, man?
I fucking hate this whole place.
Zombie. Zombie. Anyway,
Alright. Anyway,
what are we
guys, it's
doing
John
today?
and Patrick from Obscure Reference. We're back at it with Opum, One Piece of Our Minds. Chapter 1153 has just dropped, The Birth of Loki. Ooh la la.
Woo!
So we're going to read through it, give you our initial thoughts, discussion, or reactions, all that good jazz. We're starting off on the cover with Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage Volume 37, Daimyo of Ringo, Kuki Nojo, and her boss Ocho. Cinco Ocho?
So, if you'll recall, I had to look her up because I did not. But Ocho is one of the Yakuza bosses that was in the Udon prison.
Ah, that's why she looks familiar.
Yeah, so she's back. She was the Yakuza boss of Ringo, so she's back on top there. And Kiku is now the daimyo of Ringo, which is nice.
I
Still missing an arm, but
Why is the fucking why is the Yakuza good in this world? Aren't they normally just like the most brutal of the mafias?
I don't know if I'd go that far. They do have an honor system. I've played the Yakuza games. I'm an expert. All right.
Yeah, but aren't
I
they
don't know.
like
Maybe it's just
known
because.
for horrible tactics? And even if they're not
Yeah, yeah.
brutal, they're still a crime family. Why is that just part of the
They're
local government?
no, and I'm playing it up a little bit, but yeah, they do like some awful stuff. Obviously, they are a criminal organization, but I think in the world of One Piece, since they're on the side of the Akazaya Nine and the Straw Hats and stuff, and they helped free Wano, that they have a special seat there that they're respected or whatever.
I
But
mean, apparently. Let's get into
yeah.
it, though.
Let's get into it. I also would like to point out that we didn't even consider that the birth of Loki would be a part of the flashback within the flashback. That seems pretty obvious in hindsight.
Oh, I mean, I
Anyway,
didn't label it. I figured we'd get there.
I mean,
Everybody's
I
born
kind of,
someday.
yeah, it happens. Okay, so first page, Prince Harold of Elbaf lived out his rather unhinged childhood years alongside Dory and Broggy, which makes
Love it.
sense, I think,
That's
timeline-wise.
adorable.
Yeah,
Of course it makes sense. It's
baby.
actively happening.
Thanks to his innate size and strength, gifts from his ancient giant blood, as well as his noble status, he developed an inflated sense of self, and no one could stop him from growing into a royal pain. So yeah, we just see first panel. It's just a nice story of scale. Like he's about the same size as Dory and Broggy, and then the next panel he's like towering over them. They're like, whoa. Uh, and yeah, we see next panel he's just picking his nose. Everyone outside of Elbaf is so tiny and pitiful and boring. Don't you agree? And he flicks his booger and it like creates a huge explosion in the ocean. Of course, Your Majesty, you're exactly right. Oh, Blunt Kingdom, JK, Spunt Kingdom, New World. Come one, come all. Marvel at the 10-meter woman. Feel the earth tremble as she walks. Cover your ears when she barks thunder. A rare giant from the exotic land of Elbaf. Feast your eyes on Ida. And we see this giant woman with horns just behind some bars. She's going, "Rawr," and all these people are screaming and they're, eek. Step away from the cage if you don't want to be hurt. And we see Harold looking through some binocs saying, turning a giant into a sick sideshow? You've got some nerve. Turn the page. Ba-da-ha-ha-ha. Yeah, they thought that Elbaf was a joke. Well, who's laughing now? We see the woman that was formerly behind bars on the ship, noticeably missing horns, saying, who are you? No need to thank me. I'm the king of Elbaf. I won't stand to see my homeland disrespected like that. She turns around and just slaps him. He's like, what? Everyone's like, what? Your Majesty, King Harold. He's got a great reaction face. He's just like, huh? Turn the ship around. I need to apologize. So many people were hurt back there. Harold's like, are you insane? You care about that mini kingdom of tiny humans? You see her shaking her fist, and the next panel, he's got like bumps on his head and stuff. Do I have to hit you again? King Harold, they saved my life when I washed up on their shore and gave me a job to do. They were kind enough to help me make a living until I was fully healed. What do you mean, tiny humans? Just because you happen to be born huge, and are coincidentally strong and brutish, you actually think that makes you better than humans? How can you be so arrogant? It's pathetic. This is why everyone thinks that all giants are as barbaric and brutish as Elbap.
Ooh, damn.
Jeez, yeah, laying it down. And yeah, they are back on the coast of the village. Just because I was born huge? He's just, yeah, kind of mulling this over as we see Ida's helping people out, rebuilding shit. Um, and everyone's just having a good old time. Should we just set sail, King Harold? Why are you all just spacing out? Huh? And Harold's yelling at him, go and help her, you ninnies! That town is as tiny as a model. It's easy work. Yes, Majesty. Their method of construction is completely different from ours. We should tell everyone about it when we return to Elbaf. I want to bring home some of their spices. I've never tasted flavors like these before. Notice how hardy the fabric is? Yeah, Harold's. So he just holding her hand out, and Harold's just like, definitely doesn't want to be, bowing his head down like this. And yet here he is, asking for forgiveness. And yet it's so fine. These humans are more skilled than we realize. And yeah, you just see him like slowly but surely like acclimating to these small humans and shit. They're having a good old party. You have to see things from their eye level, Harold. Nothing in the world is meant to be destroyed. Turning the page, we're out back at sea. Everyone's like sailing off and shit. I was born on Samwanai Island in the South Blue. After some twists and turns, my life's path brought me here. So you crossed the Serpent of Blood. You mean the Red Line? Well, yes, which is why I can't go back home. Then come to Elbaf. We're not as barbaric as you say. Oh? Maybe I was mistaken about you too. You see in the background, like, his subordinates are like, King Harold's changed. Yeah, it's creepy. I bet it won't last long. Like, you see them just, like, talking to, like, different people on different islands and stuff as they're talking and shit. And we're cutting back to Elbaf, 105 years ago. I wish to atone for all of my countless crimes. What's gotten into you, Harold? I may be out of the country more often than I'd wish, but it is only to join hands with our neighbors and ask them to teach us their culture. If we learn from the rest of the world, we can make our land and lives richer. Yeah, but Dory and Broggy are still raising hell out there. They are good friends of mine, but they have always been eccentric. They're cordial with humankind and follow a code of honor. That's true. It doesn't hurt that they can fight, of course. But if they pose too much of a threat to other nations, we may have to rein them in. You see Yorl and Jarl there. Zabababa, what a turnabout! Bojajaja. Meeting new people took him on a journey. Harold, no. Elbaf is blessed with good luck. For example, by sending diplomats back and forth, we can help deepen the ties and friendship between nations. I s- and yeah, you see him like what is that? Like a bottle of like liquor, I presume, and it's like massive. And they're like trading stuff at a local island village place. I see. So we're each taking hostages then. Don't say it like that. It means that countries can't get to be friends unless the people in them are connected somehow. So yeah, Harold just completely does not know how diplomats work. Elbaf, 81 years ago, fisherman village, eastern Elbaf. The baby's been born? Congratulations, Harold and Ida. Thank you all. And now Ida and I can. And everyone's like, no, you are forbidden from marrying her. The royal line must remain pure of blood. And you see him just talking to Ida and stuff. I'm sorry, Ida. It galls me that it must come to this. This is just how the culture works. You can't get emotional and fight against it. You're always welcome in our village, Ida. As long as you live in the same country as Daddy, you'll be happy. Right, Hajradin? And we see baby Hajradin be like, probably shit himself when he said it too. Um, this is your true betrothed, Harold? Estrid's blood is pure and ancient. She is the one worthy of being our queen. We see, yeah, Elbaf, Brewer's Village, prestigious daughter, Estrid. I was born in the Brewer's Village to the north, and I studied geomancy. It is my fate to love you for the rest of my life. Forget all about that woman and child to the east. And Harold's just like, oh, no, good heavens, the spirit is escaping to the east. Your good luck is getting away. We must close those windows at once. Huh? And that mirror, it's in the 5-star kill position. Destroy it at once.
Hmm.
This horse. What is happening with this horse? Okay.
It's two
This
horses.
is. It's two horses?
It's got enough legs
But
to
it's
be
one
two
horse.
horses.
But it's one horse.
It's a double horse.
Whole horse. Alright. This is Asla, the horse of good fortune. It's a gift from my clan. The perfect mount for you, King Harold. I have no doubt that this horse will bring you great luck. It's enormous. And why does it have 8 legs? Guards, bring all the jewels and gold in the treasury to my chambers. I was like, what? This is to ensure that the fortunes of wind and earth are sent in His Majesty's direction. Also, inform the scullery maids that from this day forward, the king and I will be using the fine silver to eat all of our meals. And the guards are just thinking to themselves, is she just after luxury?
Certainly seems to be. You gold digger.
Mm-hmm. About 70 years ago, in an era when the rigors of the sea made it difficult to maintain trade between islands, Elbaf's skill at navigation was the envy of other nations. There's a star to the north that never moves called the Pole Star. Ooh,
Oh,
ah.
come on, you didn't know that?
I mean, like, that's base anyway.
That's step one.
Yeah, like,
Are they just navigating like Luffy in chapter 2 or whatever? Where he's just like, I was hoping I
just
got
getting in a barrel.
somewhere.
Yeah, I just went off in
You
one
can
direction. I got started.
steer?
I'm just glad they're not like Zoro and they're like, go north, and he just goes up. Like, that doesn't.
Zoro
Anyway,
is just
that's a
on
whole.
the star.
Yeah, I went up. Uh, but yeah, next panel we see Harold just sitting in front of a crowd on some other island, just like explaining stuff and shit. They're saying, "You said you met a mermaid king Harold." Yes, I have at last. Fishmen too. In the kingdom where those with fish blood live, their king has a newborn heir named Neptune. All the creatures of the sea, not just the mermaids and fishmen, were engaged in a grand celebration that spanned the sea floor. Ooh. Aris Castle, Elbaf, 63 years ago, while Harold was away from home. Congratulations, my queen. It's a very healthy boy. His name is Loki. The king and I decided on it. Now, show me my baby.
Yeah.
Whoa. What? It's terrifying. And yeah, she just kind
Oh,
of
I
is
guess, yeah, this is the
flying
first
back.
time we see his eyes. Is that why they're bandaged? Loki.
Yeah, oh. Is this a Katakuri's? Oh, that breaks my heart. Your Majesty, it's horrid. What is that thing? That is no son of mine. Please, Your Majesty, try to remain calm. Tell the kingdom that it was stillborn.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god. You can't be serious. And yeah, you see the baby's reaching out for his mom. He looks a little sad. It is accursed. Just look at that baby. It's a monster. The Prince of Elbaf grasped for the empty air, but no hands reached out to envelop his own. Oh, that's so sad. Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
Stop, Your Majesty. He's the royal heir. The most unfortunate of all living creatures is the one whose very existence is denied by its mother in the moment of its birth. Do you hear me? I bore no child. Do not tell a soul about this. You see something falling down towards the underworld from the branch layer of Elbaf. But what are you planning to do? I'm going back home. I never want to bear another child. Your Majesty, head guardsman, down in the underworld. No, no, the guard's like, down in the underworld. And Esther just turns around, what about the underworld? Oh, and we turn the page, and baby, like, just born Loki's trying to climb the giant tree of Elbaf to get back to his mom, and he's just crying. He's all bloodied up and shit. Very
This is
reminiscent of Luffy.
Yeah, I was
climbing
gonna
up
say
the
Drum
Drum
Island.
Kingdom. Yeah. Um, but yeah, he's just climbing. We see some shadowy beasts, uh, like in the snow and shit. We're cutting back to the castle. Queen Estrid fell ill. Get rid of the child. There's a prophecy before it was even born. The prophecy said that King Harold would one day be killed by his own son. Not that madness again. While Harold was busy banging his head against the problem of national relations, the world government has stepped in to block our path again. Why can't countries be free to decide for themselves? And we cut to Ida with a young Hodgerton. Hey, can I see the baby too? He's your brother. He's not your son, so he's not my brother. And Ida just like pulls him in, just gives him a big kiss in the cheek. Aw, you're even sweet like that. And Hodgerton's just over it. Um, all of the misfortunes that would fall upon Elbaf would be known as Loki's curse. We see a silhouetted child Viking that we can only assume is Loki. And
Man,
that's the end of the chapter.
that hurts. I did not know Loki's mom rejected him at birth, threw him to the underworld to die, and as an
Hmm.
infant climbed up the Adam tree. Oh.
Just heartbreaking.
I mean, obviously he was going to have a tragic backstory. Obviously the bandages were there for a reason. But I thought it was
Hmm.
something more, out of choice, like, or related to the fact that he was blind or something, not just his eyes are hideous.
Yeah,
That's awful.
truly, truly awful.
I gotta admit, part of me really hates this just because I have a son about to be born, and this just hits close to
Yeah.
home. Like, I couldn't even imagine.
If your child is born with these eyes, what are you doing with it?
Well, obviously, you kick him to the bottom of the tree. I want to see
Okay.
baby climb a tree.
We're seeing it here. Like, I mean,
Like, this is
surely
pretty
it's already
cool.
possible. I want to
I'll
see
like dangle a
baby climb a
sandwich
tree.
in front of him. Like, you want daddy's love and a sandwich? Climb the tree.
Go climb a tree. God. All right. Where do we even start?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to cover, but it's as far as I can tell immediately, there's not too much to dig into aside from maybe the issues we went to. I know we've been to the Bunt Kingdom before.
Oh, have we?
I don't remember why though. What's that
Okay. So
tattoo?
I
That
didn't say it, but I was wondering. The ringmaster of the circus guy, he looks vaguely, like extremely vaguely familiar, but that could just be nothing.
he reminds me of Baron Tamago, but that's all I got.
Uh, Like it was like a bit character, like it wasn't anyone important. But
Are you thinking of
uh,
the train guy from Water 7?
I don't know. I genuinely don't. So okay. Quick Google search for Punt Kingdom. The first thing that comes up is Drum Island, and then the second one is Bentham. So, um, yeah, not really anything on Bunt
Really? I
Kingdom
could
as
have
far as I can
sworn we'd
tell.
been there.
Show results with Bunt. No, okay, nothing there. Okay. Uh,
Quick shout
maybe
out. I love that Harold was running around wild, free, doing whatever chaos, being an asshole. Comes to an
mhm.
immediate stop as soon as he meets a hot woman who slaps him in the face. He's like, "Oh,
Oh,
I'm into
maybe she's
this."
right. Yeah, and I do appreciate that it's not like a complete like 180. Like you do see him kind of resist a little bit. Like
Like
he's
he's definitely
not at
hesitant,
all.
but
Yeah,
he learns quick.
no, he does. Like it's before they leave the Bun Kingdom that he's like, oh, actually, um, but not like entirely. Like it still takes some getting used to. But like it's his voyage back, I think, from that trip that it's like, oh shit, this is kind of cool. Um, so yeah, kind of what we were thinking this part of the flashback at least was going to be. Um, let's see.
Yeah, so that okay. I do like that Harden is the older brother, but the one
Hmm.
of not pure blood, so he can't be the king, and Loki's supposed to be. So, like, it's a very plausible, messy lineage situation.
Yeah, it's almost like a little bit like Game of Thrones, a little bit spoilers for like season 2, and like Robert Stark gets, is it Rob? His first son. That's
Yeah,
not Jon Snow.
yeah, that's
When he
Rob.
dies. Yeah, it's been a minute. But and then Jon Snow is like ahead, but he's a bastard, so he can't. It's given that kind of a vibe, but
But I disagree. I'm not getting into Game of Thrones right now, but you're wrong. I want to know more about
no, same
Estrid.
natural
Like,
born versus a bastard thing. That's all I'm pointing out.
she definitely
Anyway,
she dies, right? Like, she fell ill. Is that all?
Estrid,
Is she confirmed dead?
I wonder if we're keeping her alive, but she's bedridden.
Okay, but
And maybe we get a scene at
we
the
we
end of
de-
this to kind of wrap up Loki's arc at
we
the end of this.
definitely need more from her because right
Yeah.
now, is she just a gold digger? What is this horse she gave?
Hmm. I mean,
I mean,
it
she's
is pointed
obviously a
out.
bitch.
Yeah. I mean, the guards are even quick to point out that it does have 8 legs, which, yeah, we could have figured for ourselves, but I don't know. Maybe there's
Oh,
something more with this horse.
go back to the page where she's introduced.
Hmm.
Okay, so on the right hand side, no, you are forbidden from marrying her, and we get four shadowy figures saying the royal line will remain pure of blood. And then when
Hmm.
she's introduced, we get those same four shadowy figures saying her blood is pure, she's worthy of being the queen. So is somebody pulling
Yeah.
the strings on Elbaf? Is somebody purposefully manipulating the royal line to fit their needs? Is there a second, smaller world government? Do we have an Illuminati figure right here? Because it's not
Uh,
four shadowy figures; it's the same four shadowy figures.
yeah, I think that's just a general representation of the populace of Elbaf, or at least the higher courts, I think,
If it
because yeah,
was
otherwise
two
they wouldn't have
separate,
any
like if they
influence.
were not the identical four in the same position, I'd say yeah. But also think about it. I mean, Harold runs around, he crushes kingdoms for fun. He figures out there's a better way. He's sailing around the world doing all this other good stuff. Like, we were told you can't control him, and it was a big surprise when Ida slaps him, and it's like, oh, you can do that? But he's bowing down to these four figures. He doesn't even try to smash them in. What's going on there?
Well, I think there's a couple of things at play here. I don't think these four are of any import. I think they're just people that have a lot of influence in the court. I think
Oh
it's
man, I
just
can't
supposed to
wait to
be a
prove you wrong on
general.
this. I can't wait for
I think
them
it's
to
just
be
no, no, no. Hear
everything.
me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. I think it's just a general reflection of the opinions of Elbaf. Like just because Harold's starting to change and learn about diplomats doesn't mean the rest of Elbaf is, and I think it's supposed to be a reflection of that.
Not
And
because the
because
crowds
he's
seem into
starting
him. The
to,
crowds are listening to him.
well, hear me out.
No.
And because he's starting to listen and learn and just trying to make things work, he's going along with it, which is why he's not going against it so much. So I don't think there's any real importance to these folks. I think they're just there to show where we are with Elbaf.
No, because we also on the last page get Harold crying, and he's like, "The world government stepped in to block the path again. Why can't countries be free to decide for themselves?" Now we have dramatic irony. He wants this freedom for other countries, doesn't even realize he's being oppressed by whoever these four figures are. I guarantee they're coming up. They're going to be relevant. They're gonna, I don't know, be the ones who invited the world government and got the pentagram in the place. Like, something is going on here. Are they the ones pulling the strings to get the prophecy to kill Harold? I don't
Mm,
know. I'm
mm,
holding on to them. Oda loves his shadowy
I,
figures. We've never been introduced to random shadowy ones multiple times that didn't become something.
mm, it's just the way they're drawn. They're very simplistic. If there was more to them than just something that could be in a child's storybook, I'd be like, eh, sure,
They're
but
very
I just don't.
simplistic, but all unique. Like that one's got a beard, that one's got shoulder spikes. Admittedly, Threebers over there is a very simple shape. But then Forzy's on the side has a cracked back and a spiky beard. Like they're all, they're not just the same shape. And it's if it happened once, I maybe could have written it off as just whomever. But it's the same four figures twice. And then,
Yeah,
of
I mean,
course, the implication of the dramatic irony that he's not as free as he thinks he is.
mm,
Especially if we consider the world government wants the prophecy to come around to kill the king so they can step in and do their own thing. Keep your eyes
mm,
on them, boys.
mm. No, this is just basic like timeline storytelling stuff, but I just love that he's like, yeah, I love little shout outs like these where he's like, oh yeah, they had just had a newborn named Neptune in the Fishman Island. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, that one threw me off for a
I
second
know
because I was
them.
like, do they mean Poseidon? Do they mean Shirahoshi's been born? That doesn't make sense. No, I forgot, like, literally, it's Neptune, obviously.
Mhm.
Okay, so Ida confuses me. So we are
Okay.
introduced, she's in a cage doing growls and whatnot, dressed up like an ancient
Yeah.
giant. Obviously, she's in on the act. But
Hmm.
then we get to hear her speak at all, and she's like, everyone thinks that all giants are as barbaric and brutish on Elba. It's like, how dare you give us this reputation? But she's the one
Hmm.
who took the job screaming at passersby and being a monster in a cage. Like, kind of a double standard there.
Mm.
And then
No.
what really, like, they go back to rebuild the town or whatever, and they're just like, oh yeah, it's cool that they're out and wild and running free and she's allowed to help us. Like a minute ago you all thought she was going to kill you, you're just going to trust her now? I don't know.
I, I think a lot of that is the people that live on Bun Kingdom are like, oh, we know Ida, she's cool, and yet, the random people are the ones we see that are running and screaming away from the cage. But
I
you do
mean,
see
like that
that,
logically makes
that
sense, but that's quite a crowd.
no, it is for sure, and I wonder if because we have that guy dressed up like a ringmaster, that they have other attractions there, and maybe they, Bun Kingdom is known as, oh, we have this circus place where we have this, that, and also a giant. You know,
Perhaps. Quick shout out after they
but
rebuild the town, though. We get Harold doing the signature Nika pose. So, we can tell at this
true.
point, like, he has accepted freedom into his heart.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good interpretation. I like that read. Because yeah, he would. Yeah, okay. Um,
Yeah,
let's
on the
see.
surface, I can't pinpoint anywhere else we recognize any other old faces we are running into. I hate Estrid. I don't think that's a hot take. I think she's going to be a disliked character.
Yeah,
But just from the moment she was on panel, I was just like, "Oh, you're a bitch, aren't you?" Like
yeah,
she's too
yeah.
sharp. That's what it is. I
Like,
fucking love that you can convey aspects of a character just through their design. Like she seems sharp. Sharp people are evil.
well, you also have those like sparkles that are around her head and stuff. You're like, oh, yeah, you're definitely more of a glamour and glitzy kind of person. And like from the beat, before she says anything, it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're up to no good.
Yeah, I want to know what's up
Um,
with this horse though.
man, this could either be something or a whole lot of nothing. Oda could go either way with that.
Okay, we don't have time to do it in the video. Actually, no. Do a quick Google. Do a quick Google. Norse
Uh-huh.
mythology, eight-legged horse. Like, is
Um,
this a harbinger of death kind of a thing? Because she is
I got
insistent on giving this to the king. She is like, "This is a steed worthy of you. It'll bring you good fortune."
how
But
about
we also already learned the king had good fortune before this. So is this, is she the plot to kill Harold?
okay, so in Norse mythology, Sleipnir,
Okay,
Old Norse Slippy or the Slipper is an eight-legged horse ridden by Odin.
the slipper.
That's just a brief, yeah. I mean, if I ever get an eight-legged horse, his name is going to be the Slipper. Um, so it's tested in the Poetic Edda, compiled in the 13th century from the traditional sources. Blah blah blah. Sleipnir's Odin's steed is a child of Loki and Svadilfari. I don't. That's another
Oh,
horse.
interesting that it's another child of
Um,
Loki. But here
yeah.
we have Loki's mom gifting it to Odin.
Well, I mean, we have a character named Loki. We can't have him birthing wolves and horses, you know.
No, I get it. I'm not like saying, is Loki time traveling and birthing horses or something. But I love the
Yeah.
way Odin's put it, or Oda is putting his own twist on the classic mythology. I don't know.
Yeah. I
This
mean, I
horse
love
seems
that shit.
too important to just be an eight-legged horse we gave the king one time because he's not in the modern day. But what could he possibly do in the backstory that justifies existing?
Yeah, and we talk about real estate of storytelling, especially in a manga chapter. He gets like half a page, which is not nothing.
It's
I think
no,
part of that could be because Oda wants to show his design, but I also think
but
there could be more to
the
this, and
one
the
panel
fact that it's
he's
based off
in
space.
is half a page.
Yeah,
That's significant.
and now that we know that there's a very well known eight-legged horse in Norse mythology, there's definitely something here. I think.
Yeah, I think the fact that, she's really saying this is for good fortune, this is for good fortune, this is for good fortune, even though we already have good fortune.
Mhm.
Um, like the way she's closing up the windows to the east, like she's planning something. She is getting shit together for the world government to come invade. She has been promised life as
Uh,
a celestial dragon. She is going to live in incredibly luxury and comfortability. Like she has been promised nothing but greatness if she can just help get things underway to kill Harold.
no, I won't argue against that. I think that's very viable, but I also think a large part of her, because I like the idea of different multiple people in different arcs in the File Saga being like, "Hey, I want to become a slave." Hey, I like that
Mm-hmm.
idea, but I do think a lot of it is well, she's probably just into essential oils and that kind of a shit, you know. So,
Okay, listen.
hey,
I'm standing by it. I'm standing by that she is actively trying to get things in place to kill the king.
hmm
That being said, if I'm accurate on that, there's a group of four shadowy figures who were very insistent she be put in that position. I'm just saying.
okay, all
I'm
right,
just saying.
it's all coming together.
Also, I feel like we could have made her just like 10% more cruel. Like, yeah, kicking baby out a window, awful, horrible. But
Yeah.
everything before that is kind of passive. Like, you can tell she's a gold digging bitch, but that's all you can tell. I don't know, just give me
hmm
something like Boa Hancock. Just like kick a puppy. It's
Yeah.
like just do something horrible but comedic.
I don't know if I need all that. I think she's pretty right and truly hated in my heart,
Oh yeah,
but
no, no, no.
we're obviously not done with
We're
her.
definitely like they have conveyed everything possible against her. I could just go for a comedic joke instead of, oh yeah, no, close those windows, move that mirror, get the good silver out. Like, yeah, I've learned everything about you, but I don't know.
hmm
I feel like we could have increased comedy by like 10% there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this chapter for sure Oda's not going for that. I think
Mm-hmm.
moving forward there's room for that, but I think for this it was just like, hey, this is a
There's not room. She's on
truly
her
evil person.
deathbed. You're
I
right. She
don't
does
know if
become
that's true.
truly evil. You don't
I
fall
think
ill in a
she's around.
flashback and then recover, okay? You don't fall
I'm not
ill in a
saying
flashback and
no,
recover.
I'm not saying she's recovering. I'm saying we're not necessarily getting rid of her next chapter, though that's totally possible.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
whether
still
it's
think there's a
next
little bit of
chapter,
room.
it'll be sometime, but like you
Yeah,
don't also get up from your deathbed and do stuff unless you're someone really
yeah,
cool, and Estrid's not really cool.
no. So I totally think there's room for having a comedic beat with her if Oda wants to go that route. I'm not sure he does, but
No, no, I think you're
mm,
right. I think she's not even supposed to be funny. She's just pure evil. Because who else kicks a baby out of a island tree?
yeah. Um, now next question while we're talking about moms, what's up with Ida? Where are we going with her? Do you think?
Also dies.
Yeah, that's
Like
kind of where I'm at.
she
Cause
served her
like,
narrative purpose. She made Harold a good guy, and she birthed Haruden. Not trying to be
Mhm.
sexist, but there is nothing for you to do besides try and instill in her and maybe like, hey, he is your brother. Like she calls him your brother. And he's
Yeah.
like, that's no brother of mine. I bet you she tries to, push Harden to love Loki. Loki grows up to do all this, and Harden has to, in the modern day, reflect that this is what my mom wanted, and I loved her, so I guess I love you.
Yeah. Yep, I could totally see, yeah, something like that. Like, she doesn't do anything to correct him here when he's like, "Oh, he's not my brother." Like, all she does is like, "Oh, you're sweet that you're thinking of me like that." Pretty much is what I think
Mm-hmm.
she's saying at least. So there, but I could totally see her like pushing that narrative, like, "Oh no, he is your brother." Like, let's not act like he isn't.
Like, with as good as we've been shown that she is, I fully expect
Mhm.
she will just be the ultimate good and not care about bloodlines and all that.
Yeah,
Especially in the story of One Piece, we're gonna have the two half brothers come together as full brothers.
yeah. There's no doubt in my mind on that one. I even wonder too if we do something symbolic. Like I saw like a brief comment somewhere where like Loki's climbing and he just wants to hold his have his mom hold him or like hold someone's
Mm-hmm.
hand like we have Luffy or Hajradin do that as like a symbolic like hey, you're welcome here, like we
Mm-hmm.
accept you, kind of a thing.
Oh my god, I bet Loki at some point is going to get knocked down and is like reaching out for help, and it's either going to be
Hmm.
Harden or Luffy extending a hand and being, "Yeah, we're here for you." I like
Yeah,
that. I should have
I
thought
like
of
that a
that.
lot. Yeah, I should have got that.
Oh no, this is shaping up to be just like ah, I I don't even know where to begin on my thoughts on this, but just Loki essentially climbing the Drum Rockies here. We're
Hmm.
how many more parallels can we draw between him and Luffy or him and Zoro or him and any
Yeah,
other legendary figure? The fact that he's doing it as a baby, like,
dude.
how strong is Loki? Is he stronger than Luffy? Is he stronger than Emu? Like, is he the strongest character in the series? Because as a newborn
Man.
infant, he scales the Atom Tree. This isn't just a big tree. This is the legendary Atom Tree, the home of giants, and gets started in a frozen hell.
Yeah. No, I mean, it, there's a real argument to be made. We haven't really seen him in action with, his cuffs off,
I mean,
like
yeah, all
fully in
we've seen
strength
is
and
like
stuff.
a Devil Fruit user tied up with Sea Prism Stone, still doing that
Mhm.
level of strength.
Yeah, like there's a real argument to be made that he could be the strongest character we know, right? And we're giving him the Zoro treatment where,
Mm-hmm.
we have those cuffs on him. He's
Mm-hmm.
been horribly injured. Like he's not going to be at full strength here, I don't think.
No, he ate some meat. He'll be fine now. That's not even
Oh,
a
right.
joke.
That's
Like they
that's true.
fed him.
That's
He
true.
he's good. He's fully recovered, which I
No,
love that.
you're
That's
right.
a
You're
system of
right.
healing.
Another, yeah, parallel between him and Luffy. Because yeah. Anyway, um, God, yeah. I mean, Elbap has been consistently good, but this flashback's contextualizing things in a way that's just making it could make this a banger, true banger of an arc.
Yeah, no, it I just goddamn. I hate her obviously, but I love to hate her. Estrid. I'm just
Hmm.
flipping back between panels. The one after she sees Loki, it just tell the kingdom that it was stillborn. Just doesn't fit her aesthetic.
Yeah,
Doesn't want it in her life.
like she is so like you look at her and you get the idea that she just wants everyone to
Mm-hmm.
see her as like perfect, as glitzy as like, oh, this is what I want to be when I'm older and stuff. But like
Okay,
she's willing to
actually,
say, hey, my birth was not perfect. Like this baby was stillborn, and she's willing to go to that route because she hates his kids so much.
not just that. So obviously, whether it's true or not, Loki is a cursed baby. We get the curse of Loki. But
Yeah.
she brought the horse for good luck. She closed the windows, moved the mirror, had all the gold put in a different room, all that for good luck, and we still get a cursed baby out of this. So,
Hmm.
going back to my whole she was promised to be a celestial dragon thing, I bet you, if not that, something comparable, like, Queen of whatever was promised to her. But it
Hmm.
was just all a lie. It was like, you do this and we'll help you out. But it was all a curse. Like, nothing was real from the beginning.
Yeah, I do kind of like this now that I think about it a little bit more, this angle that like she was promised that because we see obviously he's a cursed giant or an ancient giant, sorry, and he has that's why he has the horns, but that
Hmm.
doesn't explain the eyes, which are, resemble like a demon's eyes pretty much. Maybe there is some sort of like, something from Emu who we've seen now to be represented as something satanic.
Ooh.
Maybe there's something there, and that's part of the promise that, hey, we'll do this, we'll make you Queen of Elbaf so you can lead and we have your power on our side when the
But what?
war inevitably comes. But you get, a cursed baby or whatever.
I could
Maybe
absolutely
that's
see
something
that
to plan
playing
for.
out. Like, yeah, we promised this all to you, but at what cost?
Hmm.
But yeah, no. I just love that she did all that for good luck, and then very obviously none of it is working. There's not good
Hmm.
luck. Everything you said is a lie. Your baby is cursed.
And
So
not
it
only
just
that, but she falls ill after that too.
yeah, but just all the more reason for me to believe like she was put here and told to do these things, and there's somebody pushing for this to happen.
Hmm. Yeah.
Why are we on a break week next week?
Oh, is it a
Stupid
break?
Oda, it's a break. No, I get it. Rest
That's
up.
all
You've
right.
been good to us for almost 30 years now.
Yeah.
All right, you got any other thoughts on the chapter?
No, I think I've said my piece. I think, yeah, this is a really good chapter.
Really good
Little
start
world
to the
building,
backstory.
flashback.
Well, the
Yeah.
backstory's backstory.
Which is very quickly becoming just the normal flashback again.
Yeah, so are we going to get a double flashback? Are we going to get like all of the Herald flashback and then go straight to the Loki flashback? I can't imagine we
Um,
get two full fledged separate flashbacks that are a cohesive story.
no, I think we're
Oh, that
done
being
with
said,
Harold
sorry,
being
I
a
guess we
shit.
did get the Doflamingo and Law flashback in
Yeah,
Dressrosa. Oh, and the fucking what's her name? Rebecca flashback,
Hime.
Kiros
Oh,
flashback.
true.
Yeah, so never mind. We can jam multiple backstories in one arc. That's fair.
I don't know if we need more from Harold. I think we've got most of his story here, that the important bits at least. Not
The
that I'm saying that there can't be more,
no, no, I
but
think we get one more chapter. Just because we
hmm,
still need to see like baby Loki make it back. We need to see Estrid die probably. Whatever happens with Ida.
sure. Yeah.
Um, I think a lot of the Loki Herald stuff will
And
get in the Loki flashback,
yeah.
but I don't think we're done here yet. We need to learn why the pentagram's in the castle room.
Yeah, no,
I think we still need to see him take his own horns off.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Do you think he takes his horns off because of the Loki stuff? He's like, you have the blood of ancient giants and you're this horrible of a person. I don't want to be anything like you.
Mm,
Did we see him
I
have
don't
his
think it's
horns when Loki was a kid? Yes. No. So it's not this. He removes those in the Loki
yeah.
flashback.
Yeah, those are gone by that point. I don't think it's anything quite like that. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe, well, I wonder because Estrid has said, "Oh no, that baby is stillborn." Is that what she tells Harold when he comes back?
And then
Does
he sees Loki.
No, okay, so no, I proved my own point wrong. They even address him as a prince in Loki's part of the flashback. So like Harold knows that this is his son
Oh
and that
yeah,
he's alive
Harold
and
straight
stuff.
up is
But
aware that this is his
um
son.
and even in like invites him over and shit. So like I don't know if there's any sort of resentment or ill will between them other than the fact that Harold tears out his own horns and Loki takes that as a why you turn your back on Elbaf's old ways and shit.
Oh, you
Which
know
is in a
what?
way kind of like his mom,
Here's what's gonna
which is kind
happen.
of
Here's
fucked up.
what's gonna happen. Loki climbs back up. Harold sees like,
Hmm.
hey, what the fuck? Estrid's,
Yeah,
like, oh, ugly baby, ew. Bandages
yeah.
his eyes, makes him wear a hat to cover his horns so he can fit the aesthetic more properly.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see something like that. Um, yeah.
And then
Oh,
dies.
and then dies. Hopefully horribly, but because she's evil and we're working up to the moment of good guys coming up on top, she's probably gonna not have such a horrible death as what Ida is probably gonna have, if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No,
Um,
she will just kind of die, and it will be like good riddance, but it's not gonna like feel good necessarily. It's just
yeah,
gonna be like good, done with that, but it's not gonna be satisfying. It's not like I can't think of any other villain who's died really satisfactory.
yeah. I not really. I mean,
Like even Jay
no.
Garcia Saturn, when he dissolves, it's like, ha, fuck you. But it's never
That
like,
was yeah.
yes, we got him.
That was like a good. He's dead, but I also feel icky with all
Yeah.
that.
No, there's so much.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any other thoughts in the chapter. You have anything?
Uh, yeah. Just to be clear, yeah, we're not cutting back. When I said we're not, we're pretty much done with Harold stuff. I think we're working our way back to
Mhm.
Loki's part of the flashback where
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
goes wild and shit.
I think we
Like we're
have
obviously not cutting back to that yet.
either one half or one minimum full chapter of Harold's flashback yet. But then
Hmm.
we're gonna jump into Loki's from here.
Yeah, I could even see it being two, but yeah, I don't see it being much more than
Yeah,
that.
no, like definitely it's not gonna be a full flashback as far as I can tell, unless the time between Loki being born and accomplishing things worthy of his own flashback, Harold really starts to do stuff.
Yeah, I even wonder if we'll see after he goes on his rampage, we'll see him go up against Shanks and Gaban. I wonder if that'll be a part of it.
Ooh, I mean, he definitely hates Shanks, so maybe.
Yeah, and we know that he's responsible for having him chained up to the tree or whatever, so I could see it.
Alrighty,
Um,
but I
yeah,
don't
that's
know.
all I got.
That's gonna do it for today, guys. If you want to see our thoughts on 1154, be sure to subscribe to the channel, tune on notifications. We'll be back in 2 weeks with that video. Who knows? We might have something else coming for you in the break week there. So yeah, check that out, and we'll see you guys next time.